All right, legends, the price of Bitcoin is actually moving to the upside with a very steady uptrend. And today is that video to say, hey, I was completely wrong on the analysis on yesterday's live stream, believing that we could be forming an ABC flat. We can see how the price action is just continuing here to the upside, and the ABC flat did not come into fruition. We did reject at a 1.618 extension mentioned yesterday. We dropped down a few $100s, but overall continued this uptrend. Now, I'm going to explain why in this episode that this was an unlikely scenario and that we are going to see massive steam to the upside to head to all-time high in the coming days, looking at the higher time frame. This still doesn't look right with this price action, and it will be explained in detail in today's episode, looking at the slightly higher time frame, understanding this move to the downside, and also understanding this local structure throughout the last few days. Is it possible that we are going to be forming this bars pattern from December of 2023, right? Very similar price action. Is this it? And we're going to start recovering in the next couple of weeks and hit all-time high already. I'm a little bit skeptical, and that has to do with the price action that we formed in the last few weeks and the last few days. So let's just quickly analyze here, keep it relatively simple on why I believe that this movement to the upside will not manage to hit all-time high, and that we're likely going to come back down to hit the lows at $91,000. A quick reminder, guys, if you are interested in trading, bluffing, or weeks are great alternatives to Bybit. You just need an email and a password to sign up on Weeks or Bluffin, and they have hundreds of cryptocurrencies to trade. You got the best bonuses with the links down below in the description for Weeks and also for Bluffin. Take advantage, guys, to trade just with an email and a password. So let's just quickly focus with the price action that has happened throughout the last couple of weeks, from the highs to the lows from just a few days ago. We can see this very aggressive move to the downside, and also a three-wave structure here in a flat, which we very much predicted very nicely as we were moving here to the upside, that we were going to test this high and finally reject back down. Now, with this price action to the downside, it would be extremely rare to see this as an end of a corrective structure. Just because this, if it were to be a C wave, it would be extremely rare. Usually C waves are much deeper, okay, and does not double bottom. This would be a very, very rare scenario to happen for the price of Bitcoin and actually get a major rally here in going to all-time highs in the next coming days, right? Give or take a 1 to 2 weeks. Now, what is most common for this scenario is that we are forming something different than an ABC corrective move. We have finished and we're going to go to all-time high. Now, what would be more common here would be looking at this structure. I'm going to give you two possibilities, right? Which is looking at this massive wave to the downside. Then we got the bounce, then another move down, creating another low. And now we're forming this bounce that the structure is extremely rare. It doesn't look very impulsive or looks like it has too much power. There's only a very extreme bullish case scenario that was mentioned on yesterday's video update, which is a double 1-2 right over here, and that we are in the formation of a third wave that could be very explosive and get to above $100,000. Okay, we'll be going through that scenario and eventually going through the resistance levels that we do have here, where the price could reject and roll down. Considering the liquidity, we do have some liquidity here above $100,000. There's several 100 million short liquidations. However, also below $92,000, there is a few 100 million. So will we manage to get above $100,000 first and then roll down? Or will we roll down soon here at this 97, maybe 98K zone, and then come and sweep that liquidity to then get that massive move to the upside to all-time high in the coming weeks? So let's just talk about the different possibilities, right? If we do see this as a first initial wave to the downside, right? Very nice movement down, an ABC flat, a three-wave corrective structure right over here, forming this lower high. And then we got a new lower low. So we got another peak here that we could consider as a third wave. Now the question is, right, if we do not manage to get above this wave right over here, right, at $100,000, the wave 2, there is a possibility in forming a wave 4 in this area, coming back down to form one more low, hitting 90,000, potentially 89, 88K, all right, and form a contracting diagonal. Is this still a possibility? I have to say absolutely yes. Now, the fact that we moved down here in a double zigzag, we got a zigzag right over here, another double zigzag right over here, and now what we're forming, it looks very, very complex without a doubt. You know, this could still be a double zigzag, and we are in the third zigzag right over here, and it's going to top out very, very soon. Now, there is a lot of resistance here based on this scenario, okay? I just don't like the price action. It's moving up with decreasing volume, all right, throughout all of the exchanges. So I'm a little bit skeptical about this move to the upside, if it is going to be sustainable and manage to go above $100,000 in the next couple of days. You know, there are signs of that this momentum to the upside doesn't look too strong. So what is the strongest resistance that we do have? We're actually very close to it. When we get the fixed volume profile from the price action that has been created throughout the last few weeks since November, we can see that the point of control on Bybit, it is just at the $97,300 range, which is actually sweeping this lower high right over here from the 27th of December. 97,300 range looks very, very strong as a resistance zone. When we take a look at the latest price action in December from the last few weeks, fixed volume profile, that is also where we have the value area high of this entire range of the last 2 to 3 weeks, okay? So yeah, this is definitely a possibility. Most commonly, you do retrace from a wave 2, okay, to the end of the wave 3, to the golden pocket zone. That is currently where we are struggling. Very uncommon for a contracting diagonal to actually hit the 7.8 or the 0.88 Fibonacci. So preferably, the more choppiness and exhaustion that we do get here, kind of looking like it's going to roll over with many double, triple tops in this area before hitting the 7.8, that is the moment that I would say, okay, this is looking weak. I don't think that the price is going to go to higher levels and go to $100,000 and expect a rollover. Now, this is not going to be easy. We want to see that choppiness, multiple, double, triple tops in this zone in between. Yeah, 97,000, 97,500 would be the zone that I'm expecting that very strong choppiness, and finally get the rollover to speculate on this contracting move to come back down below $92,000. It's a possibility. Now, another alternative here, of course, would be the bullish one, short-term bullish one, which is still very much bearish. This would be very rare for me to believe that this is ending as an ABC movement, especially with this local price action. It doesn't just look quite correct. That is going to gain a lot of steam. Of course, there is this scenario right over here, the bars pattern that happened in December of 2023. Now, for this to come into fruition, we would have to come to the conclusion that what has formed here is a flat movement, and we're already building up here, all right, into that first, major big wave, okay, that wave 5 that we need to complete on the higher time frame. Then I'll have to come to that conclusion that if we do start seeing this price action like December of 2023, that we are, finished with an ABC flat, all right? And I would have said, okay, I missed the long position here at the lows, okay, and not getting into a swing long position, okay? I like this area for a swing long position and not this one that we formed the other day. Expecting those lows to be hit to get into that swing long. So I would say, okay, I've missed the swing long position, but overall looking for some scalp and day trade scenarios every single day regardless. Now, if this doesn't happen, we do not reject at 97, 97.5, and we just continue to the upside and we break through, I have to come to the conclusion that there is a possibility as well in forming an A wave right over here. This would be the B wave, and then we're coming down here to claim the lows again. This would be looking pretty interesting without a doubt. Now, of course, could we form a double top right there? Okay, just hit the highs here from the 25th of December. Or are we going to manage to push through, start coming up to some naked point of controls, which is at $104,000, right? Get a big major B wave. We're just going to have to go with the price action if we do get above $97,000 successfully, right? To analyze, you know, hey, where could we top out? Will we form a, you know, basically a rejection, get up here and start getting a rejection, sign of weakness, big volume on the breakdown? Then we can analyze that we could go to lower levels, or are we going to smash through here with very high volume? If that were to be the case, all right, if we do get above the highs here from the 25th, 26th of December, above $100,000, I'm speculating on this scenario, okay? I mean, this B wave could be at 104 or $101,000, right? I'm happy to wait for the rejection from this high. I won't be shorting, okay, as we're pumping into the zone. But if the price were to break through, and then the ultimate bullish case scenario would be that we have formed here a double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and we are in the formation of the third wave. Now, what you want to see in a third wave of a double 1-2 is a massive breakout and increase in volume. This is something that we are not seeing at the moment. Will volume start picking up right now in the next coming hours and get a blast through and pump $3,000-$4,000 to get $100,000? Maybe it's going to happen in the coming hours. I don't see the sign, preferably from the start here of the move up in a double 1-2. Now, this is the third wave of the larger time frame third wave. So if this is wave 1 and this is wave 2, we should be inside of the wave 3. And right now we should be forming the wave 3 inside of the wave 3, right? That's having 5 waves. And I don't see too much steam. I don't see an increase in volume. I don't see, you know, big breakouts. Could that happen now in the next coming hours? Potentially, yes, but we are facing a lot of resistance, and the volume decreasing here is just not looking too convincing for me to believe that there is going to be a massive breakout of a few $1,000s. Now, I could be completely wrong, just like yesterday's video, guys. Now, I was waiting for this moment because we usually like to take a look at the previous videos and say, guys, you know, we were talking about this. This was a scenario. And one of the only, you know, highest probability scenarios for me on my analysis, I have to say, sometimes I am wrong, and I'm very happy to come out on the video and say, look, you know, we did get the rejection from the 1.618 extension of a few $100s. And if you did short that level, you know, you can manage risk very, very well. I'm just going to go quickly through that scenario that was mentioned yesterday, which was basically looking at this flat right over here, right? We've got the pivot low, pivot high, this pivot low right there. And you can see how the 1.618 extension at 94,900 was rejected right over here. And we did drop a few $100s, okay? So if you got into this short, it was the rejection of the short, stop loss at the high. You know, you could be quite defensive right there with your stop loss at break even. So the level got the rejection. However, we did not roll down as I was expecting, right, from that level. So overall, you know, bad calls, right? Well, it just didn't happen, right? We need to talk about the risk management. This is why, because this is not a zone to be adding to your short position or any of that. If the analysis is wrong, if we do not reject at the exact level of a scenario that we are talking about, we stay out of the trade, okay? This is the moment where people get burnt, okay? Very important to explain. There are specific levels that we need to respect with our entry points and our stop losses, and look for the price to reverse. If that is not the case, we are out of the trade and we do not add to the position or hope for a reversal or any of that, okay? Because we can be completely wrong, and we are in a very strong bullish case, which would be that double 1-2 right over here, right? 1-2, 1-2, and this is the third wave. A lot of micro waves here forming, okay, in this price action with extremely low volume. There is something about this movement that I am not convinced, guys. I'm not convinced that we're going to explode out now a few $1,000s. I could be completely wrong, but the grinding here to the upside, I mean, another scenario would be that expanding move, right, that we talked about, which is very rare as well, and then the price is going to top out, you know, somewhere at the 97.5k zone, right, and then start getting a larger pullback. I mean, this could be looked at something impulsive. We'll analyze that in the next coming days. Overall, the strongest resistance zone is basically where we at the moment. We actually trading ever so slightly a monthly level, okay? The previous month open, it is a monthly level right over there, and also hitting the golden pocket from the highs of the 26th of December to the lows here from last Monday, from Monday basically, right? Golden pocket, monthly level. This golden pocket is common also for a target zone for a contracting diagonal. We are at resistance, all right, and the volume is very low. So, if you want to attempt some short positions, make sure to get in at local double tops and be very defensive with your stop loss. For example, if you're attempting, because if this is going to be the high, the movement down is going to be of several $1,000s, and your stop loss could literally be, less than $100 or maybe $200 if you're getting into these local double tops, right? If you're putting a stop loss here and you are getting into this local double top, which it is resistance, you can be extremely defensive and then have your stop loss at break even and just wait for the next possible double top scenario till you actually get the reversal. This is going to pay off your stop loss by 5 or even 10 times, depending on how you're managing risk, right? The moment you start breaking down, well, eventually you are managing risk very, very well, and you get paid off that stop loss if you're getting out a very good entry and managing risk, okay? So overall, this is a higher time frame resistance zone. Just looking at the higher time frame, it is the golden pocket from this move to the downside, okay? If we are going to create that choppiness here, I'm still interested in speculating on double tops and managing risk very, very well, guys, and being very defensive, just realizing I could be on the wrong side of the market. And we are going to be breaking through here inside of this double 1-2 wave 3 scenario, and we'll be heading up here above $100,000 between today and tomorrow. So being very, very cautious here with the possibilities, very much aware that we are uptrending, but I just don't like this structure. There is something about this structure that I realize that we could be topping out in this zone. And if we do not top out in this zone, guys, then eventually I am expecting above $100,000. So I'm not going to be adding into any positions here or any of that, hoping that we are going to reverse, just understanding that, okay, this scenario is playing out and, missing the long trade. However, not getting into, adding to short positions, right? Because this could get you extremely burnt. Not much more to say on this video update, legends. Stay safe. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for future updates. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.